Imagine standing on a world where the rain is made of molten glass, moving sideways at 7 times the speed of sound. Or a planet so close to its star that it's being eaten alive, one orbit at a time. These aren't science fiction, they're real, and they're out there right now, existing in ways that should be impossible. This is a tour of the most terrifying worlds ever discovered. Planets that break the rules of nature, defy every expectation, and make our own world feel like the luckiest rock in the universe. Let's start with the planets that live too close to the fire. Deep in the galaxy, there's a class of worlds astronomers call hot Jupiters. Gas giants the size of Jupiter or bigger, but instead of orbiting safely in the outer edges of a solar system, they're pressed right up against their stars. Dangerously, impossibly close, where radiation doesn't just warm them, it destroys them. One of the most extreme examples sits about 600 light-years away in the constellation Auriga. The planet is called WASP-12b, and it is dying, right now, slowly, orbit by orbit, being consumed by the star it circles. WASP-12b is nearly twice the size of Jupiter, yet it completes a full orbit every 1.1 Earth days. That's how close it is. Only 3.4 million kilometers from the surface of its star. Mercury, the closest planet to our own sun, is more than 18 times farther from it. Let that sink in. The day side of WASP-12b reaches temperatures above 2,500 degrees Celsius, hot enough to vaporize iron, hot enough to shatter atoms in the upper atmosphere, where gases bleed off into space in a glowing trail that wraps around the star like a wound. The star's gravity doesn't just heat WASP-12b, it physically deforms it. The planet has been pulled and stretched into an oval shape, its outer layers peeling away under tidal forces so powerful they're literally ripping the world apart. And here's the detail that haunts astronomers. WASP-12b is almost perfectly black. It reflects less than 10% of the light that hits it, making it one of the darkest objects ever observed in the known universe. It doesn't shine, it doesn't glitter, it absorbs. A shadow shaped like a planet, silently unraveling in the heat of a star that's swallowing it whole. Scientists estimate it has just a few million years left, a blink of time on a cosmic scale. Then it will be gone entirely, dissolved into the star that once gave it form, a world erased. But fire isn't the only way a planet can become a nightmare. Some worlds are terrifying because of what falls from the sky. 63 light-years away, orbiting in the constellation Vulpecula, is a planet called HD 189733b. From a distance, it looks almost beautiful, a deep, vivid blue, the color of a calm ocean on a clear afternoon. But that blue is a lie. There are no oceans here. That color comes from something far more sinister. Tiny particles of vaporized silicate, glass, suspended in the atmosphere. And they don't just float there, they fall. The atmosphere of HD 189733b is a pressure cooker running at around 1,200 degrees Celsius. Winds reach over 7,000 kilometers per hour, more than 7 times the speed of sound. In those conditions, molten glass doesn't fall down. It gets hurled sideways, slicing through a sky thick with metallic clouds and superheated gas. The rain here would cut through anything it touched. It is the most hostile weather system ever recorded on another world.
There is no eye of this storm, no break in the chaos. The violence never stops. HD 189733b doesn't have seasons or calm spells. It is permanently, eternally raging. And beneath all of it, if there's any surface at all, it's buried so deep under layers of burning pressure that no instrument we've ever built could reach it. Some planets are terrifying in fire. Others terrify through contradiction. About 33 light-years away, in the constellation Leo, there's a planet that seems to violate the most basic rules of physics. It's called GJ436b. And on paper, it makes no sense. The surface burns at roughly 800 degrees Celsius, and yet the planet is covered in ice. Not frozen because it's cold, frozen because the pressure inside it is incomprehensible. Deep within GJ 436b, water is compressed so tightly by the planet's mass that it can't flow, can't evaporate, can't escape. It stays solid even while it glows with heat. Scientists call it superionic ice, a phase of matter that doesn't exist anywhere naturally on Earth. Ice that burns. GJ 436b is also tidally locked, one face permanently scorched by a star, the other locked in perpetual freezing darkness. Two completely different worlds existing on opposite sides of the same planet. The lit side blazes, the dark side freezes, and somewhere in between, the laws of nature quietly break down. But as extreme as that is, at least GJ 436b has a star. Some planets have nothing. Out in the deepest, darkest corridors of the galaxy, there are worlds with no sun at all. Astronomers call them rogue planets. Some were flung out of their solar systems billions of years ago after violent gravitational collisions with larger bodies. Others may have formed alone, condensed from clouds of gas and dust in the space between stars, never belonging to any system. They drift in complete silence through the void. No warmth, no light, no anchor. Surface temperatures on rogue planets can fall below -200 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze methane solid. Their skies are absolute black. You could stand on the surface of a rogue planet and see nothing. Not a single star would look close enough to cast a shadow, just infinite darkness in every direction. And yet, some scientists believe that deep beneath that frozen shell, kept liquid by the slow decay of radioactive elements inside the planet's core, there could be oceans, completely sealed off from the universe, hidden under kilometers of ice in total darkness. If life can survive in the hydrothermal vents at the bottom of Earth's oceans without sunlight, the question becomes genuinely unsettling. What might be alive down there, in the dark, completely alone, waiting? Rogue planets may be the most isolated places in existence, worlds the universe made and then abandoned.
But some planets are abandoned in a different way. Some orbit stars that are already dead. Nearly 4,000 light-years away, in the constellation Cygnus, there is what remains of a solar system that was destroyed from the inside. The star at its center lived and aged and eventually expanded into a red giant, swallowing the inner planet's whole before collapsing inward, leaving behind a white dwarf, a dense, fading ember the size of Earth but with the mass of the Sun. One planet somehow survived, Kepler 7.b. It shouldn't exist. It orbits its white dwarf so closely that a full year takes just 5.8 hours. Its surface temperature exceeds 4,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of many living stars. Any atmosphere it ever had burned away long ago. What remains is a scorched, glowing husk of molten rock and exposed mineral, blasted constantly by radiation from a dead star. Astronomers named it a zombie planet because even though everything around it has been destroyed, it keeps going, keeps orbiting, bound forever to the ghost of the star that nearly killed it. These worlds, each one stranger and more brutal than the last, are not anomalies. They are the universe showing you what it's truly capable of. Worlds that melt, worlds that shred, worlds that freeze and burn simultaneously, worlds that drift alone in eternal darkness, and worlds that refuse to die even after their suns go dark. And Earth sits quietly in the middle of all of this, the exact right distance from a stable star, protected by a magnetic field, a thick atmosphere, liquid water, and billions of years of improbable luck. Every one of those terrifying planets makes this one feel more remarkable, more fragile, more worth looking up at the sky and feeling something. Because somewhere out there, the universe is still making new worlds, and some of them are going to be stranger than anything we've found yet.